What's going on, YouTube? For those looking to buy a new luxury car, chances are you have considered something in the luxury compact SUV segment. It's red hot with many competitive options, and two of the most popular have long been the BMW X3 and Audi Q5. Audi used to hold the bestseller crown in the US, but lost it to the X3 a few years back. That being said, this year, both brands are intensifying the rivalry and looking to shake things up with all new versions. So, has Audi done enough to take the crown back? That's what we're here to find out. So before we get started with the comparisons of the exteriors, interiors, and driving experiences, let's first establish things with the pricing. Starting with the BMW, we have a very nicely equipped X3 30 xDrive, with all the options people usually select. It comes to a total price of $60,875. Moving to the Audi, it saw a pretty big jump in pricing this year. An equivalently equipped model is the Prestige trim, and that rings in a couple $1,000s more than the BMW. It's $63,290. By the way, if you want to get the best price from local dealerships and access to invoice pricing info for these two models or any vehicle, we have a tool on our website to do just that. It's a great resource for shopping, so be sure to check the link in the description for more info. If you're new to our comparisons, we conduct them objectively. We've done our best to weigh the points awarded throughout in major and minor categories. And towards the end, we'll revisit the price difference and discuss resale and reliability. But for now, let's go ahead and get into the comparison. Starting things out with the exterior designs, we have a very different approach despite them both being fully redesigned. Audi went for a very subdued design for this new model, while BMW certainly took a turn for the bold with the new X3. While we won't be awarding points based on design preferences, and we'd be curious to hear your thoughts on that in the comments, we will award points for the lighting. X3 has full projector LED headlights as standard equipment, while our Q5 only has projector low beams and reflector high beams. That's not the whole story though. Only the Audi includes customizable daytime running light designs, as well as elaborate animations as you approach and leave the vehicle. Continuing to the sides, even though the Audi has grown by about 1.5 inches for the new generation, it's still a little shorter than the X3. For wheels, the BMW has more pizzazzy 21-inch alloys as equipped, compared to the Audi's plainer 20 inches. That's not quite at the 5% threshold required to score a point, and obviously both of them offer many other designs and sizes. Now, as we move around back, we once again see very different approaches to the design. And I mean very different. The Audi is quite modest, and the X3 bold. But as equipped with the features, they both have rear spoilers, fully LED tail lights, and exposed exhaust outlets in the case of the Audi. If you want to tow, Audi has about a 10% advantage at 4,400 pounds as a maximum. Now checking out some of the individual features. Both their mirrors are loaded and have heating, power folding, auto dimming, and blind spot monitoring. As far as the other safety systems, they have all the regular systems, plus some extra fancy ones, like assisted lane changing. Speaking of extra, the BMW includes an extra 3 years of complimentary maintenance, compared to none on the Audi. Otherwise, their basic and powertrain warranties match each other. But the interiors are perhaps even more important, so let's move on to those. But first,
if you're new here, we're brothers, and we've been reviewing cars since we were 12
and 16.
We started young, and since then we have reviewed over 2,000 vehicles at every price point. No matter what you're looking for, from humble to high-end, we'd love for you to subscribe to be a part of our Car Confections family.
Let's learn a lot and have some fun with all the latest cars. As we walk up to the two crossovers and pull out the keys, you'll find smart entry systems and decently nice key fobs. BMW includes remote start on the fob itself, subscription free for life. After opening up the doors, we have very modern looking interiors that definitely put the emphasis on tech. They are available in a wide variety of colors. But only the Audi includes real leather as standard equipment, compared to Vengeza faux leather in the X3. As far as the actual seat functions, both have a ton of adjustments. They include 4-way lumbar and manual thigh extension. Plus the BMW includes power bolster adjustment. In addition, they both have memory functions, heating, and ventilation. But once we climb inside the cabins, we can check out the overall material quality. Here, they both leave a little to be desired. Their previous generations used more wood, leather, and posh materials, but their new tech-forward approaches remove some of that. While both are still pretty nice, be aware that other rivals like Mercedes GLC and Genesis GV70 will have more premium cabins. And between the two of them, we'll call this section a tie. But now it's time to take a look at all that tech I was mentioning. First, looking at the gauges, they have large 11.9 and 12.3 inch reconfigurable ones. In addition, both include large head-up displays, so you don't even have to look down. Coming back to the steering wheels, these two both have leather-wrapped designs, despite the Audi's controversial two-spoke design. Feel in the hand is nice, especially with their heated functions on, though only the Q5 has power tilt and telescoping. Now let's move on to interior storage. This is an area that is improved for both models this year. And starting with the center consoles, they both have a good amount of space. We measure console volume with donuts, and the BMW can handle 10 versus 8 in the Audi. It also has a little bit more storage space in the other cubbies compared to the Q5, so it'll take the storage point. Both additionally have wireless phone chargers and electronic shifters. When in reverse, they have 360-degree camera systems and parking sensors. And now that brings us to the volume controls. Let's go ahead and hear a sample. Overall, audio quality is impressive for both, but we give the slight edge to the Audi with its 3 more speakers and more watts of power. But now it's time to dive into climate. Here, those of you who prefer simple controls will be disappointed in both, but even more so in the BMW. While both have fully digitized climate adjustment, in the BMW, adjusting the vents is actually done with a tiny roller under the vent, which is very hard to point while driving. Because of that, we'll give the Audi a half-point advantage for ease of use, even though it itself could be simpler. It will also get a half point since it has 3 zones as compared to 2 zones in the X3. Alright, but moving past that, we have a lot of other functions living inside the large displays. How large, you ask? The Audi's measures in at 14.5 inches, and the BMW's 14.9 inches. And functionally speaking, they have the same main features, including navigation, wireless Apple CarPlay, and wireless Android Auto. That being said, the Audi is perhaps even more tech-centered, with a new passenger display for prestige models. That measures in at 10.9 inches, and allows the passenger to do things like watch YouTube. Finally, to wrap up the interiors, both have auto-dimming mirrors and panoramic sunroofs. However, for the new generation, BMW has moved to a fixed glass setup, so only the Q5 sunroof will open up. Now it's time to head for the back seats. These crossovers are often used as small family vehicles, and occupants will be happy with plenty of leg and headroom in both models. Dimensionally speaking, they are very similar to each other, and there is not enough difference to score a point. And as far as the features back here, both have air vents and USB ports for keeping things charged up. Audi takes the opportunity to pull ahead by also giving heated back seats and sunshades, which are extra cost on the X3. Moving out back, both have hands-free power tailgates, and once they open up, the X3 makes a comeback. It was already bigger than the Q5, and it gets even larger this year. So in both seating configurations, it has a significant advantage. The seats can be folded 40-20-40 split in both, but more easily folded on the Q5 since it has handles in the cargo area. There are also spare tires below the floor. But as you can see, it's still a very tight race. So now let's take them out for a spin and see who is going to come out on top. So heading out on the road with these two crossovers, it's typical for German automakers to match each other tit for tat, and that is indeed the case here. Both are using 2-liter turbo 4-cylinder engines that have mild hybrid systems. Well, used to at least. In the US, Audi removed the mild hybrid system for the all-new model, but it still has a significant horsepower advantage and quicker 0-60 compared to the X3. Torque is the same at 295 pound-feet.
All right.
Not bad.
There's up to 60 miles per hour. Now, granted, we are going a little bit downhill. We are on a little bit of a time constraint, so we, are doing what we can with what we have. But certainly a very quick 0-60 here in the X3. For this all-new model, we are going to be making 255 horsepower, 295 pound-feet of torque for this standard engine setup. It's a 2-liter turbo 4-cylinder, and boy, does BMW know how to do their 2-liter turbo 4s, because not only is it really refined, but it's also quite quick. 0-60 on this is 6 seconds, and that's the standard model.
Alright, and that was 60 miles an hour with this next generation of the Q5. So like we were talking about with the spec dump, what's under the hood is not a radical change from the previous generation. It's really Audi's signature engine. It's their 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine. This is going to be making now 268 horsepower and 295 pound-feet of torque, which is up about 7 horsepower over the previous generation. As far as the rest of the powertrains, the X3 has an 8-speed automatic transmission compared to a 7-speed dual-clutch automatic in the Q5. Both of them operate smoothly as they route power to the all-wheel drive systems. But the lack of a mild hybrid system does mean that the Q5's auto start-stop system stumbles more upon restart compared to the super smooth BMW.
Nice. Now, as far as the other aspect of the powertrain, let's talk about the transmission. We have an 8-speed automatic on all versions of the X3. It's a really nice, smooth ZF 8-speed automatic. Gets you your power exactly when you put your foot down. Really have no complaints.
This is a very quiet and refined engine as well. And let's talk about the other aspect of the powertrain, which is a 7-speed dual-clutch automatic. Again, that is the same as it was in the previous generation. Audi and Volkswagen Group uses this transmission in a lot of applications, and for a dual-clutch, it's very, very smooth. I think most people won't even realize it is a dual-clutch, but you also get the, extra snappy shifts if you're using the paddle shifters. Now let's talk about ride and handling. Overall, both are more luxury-oriented than they are sporty, which does mean that they both ride very comfortably. Audi goes a step further though, and includes a full air suspension and adaptive dampers, which gives it more ride customizability. But BMW is going to prioritize handling more, with better steering and body control while cornering. This is a very comfort-focused vehicle, but when you choose the Prestige trim, you get an adaptive air suspension, so that's pretty rare for this segment of vehicle, and because of that, you can kind of stiffen up the chassis for sport driving, like we're doing right now in dynamic mode, or you can go into comfort mode for ultimate comfortable ride. But overall, it's decent for sure. It definitely has that German athleticism.
But just kind of cruising down the highway section, I want to discuss overall ride quality for this X3. Now, we've spent several hours with this 30 model, and I have to say, I have been quite impressed with the overall ride quality. Now, compared to the M50 model, that's definitely going to have a little bit of a sportier edge. This 30 is going to be focused on luxury.
Now while you're cruising down the highway, it's also very important for your luxury SUV to be serene. So let's check the sound level readings as we always do here at Car Confections. The new Q5 comes in at an impressively quiet 53 decibels, making it the second quietest cabin in the segment. The X3 was tested out in the state of South Carolina, so because of potential differences in variables, we won't award points. But here is its score for your reference until we get it back home to Kentucky for a test.
56.4 decibels is what we'll be sitting at.
53 decibels is what we are sitting at as our sound level reading.
And lastly, for fuel economy, the X3 takes a large lead due to its mild hybrid system and efficient engine. While X5 isn't bad at 25 mpg, the X3 comes in at a class-leading 4 mpg better combined, which will save you a lot at the pump. In our reviews and comparisons, we are also adding in reliability and resale information to give you a better picture of the overall value beyond just the original MSRP. Beginning with reliability, we developed the Combined Reliability Index, which takes into account several studies from trustworthy sources and combines them in a way that gives you a more realistic picture. In this respect, the BMW pulls ahead. BMW is rated one slot above the industry average, giving it plus 0.1 points. But Audi, on the other hand, is 9 slots below average, taking away 0.9 points. We also put Mason's economics degree to work to develop a detailed predicted resale value tool. After 5 years and 60,000 miles, they are both on the lower side for resale value. The BMW is slightly higher at 41.19% of value retained after 5 years and 60,000 miles, while Audi comes in about 0.5% lower at 40.51%. Because this is less than 8% difference, no points will be awarded. Resale is obviously important because it determines how much money you get back, but we can't forget about the price difference at the original purchase. There is a $2,415 difference between the two of them, which, based on our pricing scale, gives plus 1 point to the BMW. I want to emphasize that if money, reliability, or resale value matter less to you personally, feel free to disregard these points. And if you'd like to check out all our data about reliability, resale values, as well as learn about our methodology, make sure to head over to carconfections.com/resale and /reliability. Buying a car is a big decision, and this is a great place to compare all the makes that you might be cross-shopping.
Alright, so that's it for another close and exciting comparison. But let's recap a little bit here with some of the strongest elements of each model so that you can decide what is most important to you based on your personal preferences. So the BMW should probably be your pick if you're looking for the boldest design. Also, if you're looking for more space in terms of cabin storage and also your maximum cargo capacity.
Now on the flip side, the Audi Q5 should be your choice if you prefer that more subdued exterior design. It is pretty bland on the outside. It's not going to be too flashy until they get that black optic model out. And as far as other things, it has a more adaptable ride because it has a full air suspension and adaptive dampers. Additionally, it's also going to have a few more luxury features compared to the X3 with its heated rear seats, 3 zones of climate, and it has an opening moonroof. But we want to know which one of these luxury SUVs you're taking down below. Are you taking the all-new Q5 or the all-new BMW X3? Let us know your thoughts down below. If you're looking to buy either one of those SUVs or any new vehicle, we'd encourage you to go to carconfections.com/newcarquotes. The reason you do that is because we have a tool on our website that will connect you with local car dealers in your area to get you the best price. It's also going to give you access to invoice pricing information, which is a great tool for dealership negotiation. If you'd like to take advantage of that, a link is provided in our video description, and we also have a pinned comment at the top of this video. And guys, that's going to be where we leave off on this comparison video. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, we'd really appreciate it if you hit that subscribe button down below. By subscribing, you're going to be informed on the latest car reviews on our channel, as well as comparisons and all types of other things that I promise you won't want to miss out on. So do yourself a favor, subscribe. If you're already a part of our family, thank you so much for your continued support, and we'll catch you next time as we sample more of the latest automotive delicacies.